Good morning from Motorhead Channel, just heading out. It's a beautiful morning. Yeah, it looks like a really good forecast. So one of the fellow jet ski guys is having some mechanical problems, so I was going to give him a ring and see how he's getting on. I'm not exactly sure where he is. I think he's around here somewhere. So, but that's a lovely view of Rangitoto there, and lovely sunrise. A little bit late away. It's very cold, about 3 degrees, but no wind, so it should be a cracker of a day. Anyway, we'll find out where where Das is and see how he's getting on. Good morning.
You're not having trouble, are you?
No.
How are you doing?
Good, matey. Good. So I had this once before, and it was a piece of like that round bubble weed
Stuck in the intake.
in the impeller, yeah.
Because I'm getting a vibration.
Yeah, same. It was really bad, and then yeah, I just kept on doing the reverse thing, and eventually it went, and I was back to normal. Yeah, there's not a lot of steam, so.
Craig, it's okay. What I'll do is I'm just going to fish around here. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I've got Coast Guard as well, but what I'll do is I'll just muck around here for a wee bit, and then it's okay to take me back. I'll just cruise back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, look at the day. Eh?
Oh, it's a beautiful day. Yeah, what a shame.
No, I'll be okay. I'll
so
be fine.
you've given it a really good go in reverse.
I have.
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll probably fish for about an hour or so. I'll just muck around here. Is it an incoming or outgoing? Outgoing.
Incoming.
Incoming now.
Yeah.
That's fine. It'll push me in so as well.
So Das was able to still travel, not go very fast, and what had happened, he had actually picked up a small piece of wood which had gone into the intake, gone through and got caught in the impeller, and as you can see it did a fair bit of damage to it. So this can happen on any ski, it doesn't matter what model it is, Sea-Doo, Yamaha, Kawasaki, they all can actually pick things up through the intake when you start the engine. I think that's the critical part there. My understanding is that when you are going along at speed, it's highly unlikely that you would ever get anything to go through the intake, because the ski basically forces debris away as it goes. I could be wrong on that, but I've had this happen to me twice. Both times has been when I'm going either very slow or when I'm starting the ski. I think one of my videos there was I actually ran over a piece of fishing line which was attached to a shirt, so I had no chance, and I was only doing probably 3 or 4 knots at the time. So the lesson here is, if you are starting your ski and there's been a big storm, there's lots of debris in the water, which it is in Auckland because we've had pretty wild weather lately, just be super careful that you're not sitting on top of something that could be a small slither of timber, it could be weed, it could be a whole lot of stuff, because it will go in through the intake and go into your impeller. In most cases it'll just chop it up and spit it out, but in this case Das was very unlucky. It was such a shame because it was a beautiful day and I was really looking forward to fishing with him. But anyway, so let's go and have a look at what we were going to do and then what I ended up doing. Yeah, so I had to leave Das down here. He was at Motorhead Channel, so we made sure the ski was safe before he took off. He had contact with Coast Guard and he was able to do probably around about 10 knots without any problems at all. And as you can see, the impeller, although it was damaged, it wasn't hitting the outside of the housing or causing any further damage, so he was able to get home safely, and we kept in contact too. So I moved up to back of Waiheke Island, and the plan was just to fish these points the whole way along here. Any structure, anything that looked very fishy, we're just going to cast in some big soft baits with light jig heads and see what we could pluck out. Unfortunately, as mentioned, I couldn't fish with Das, which was a shame. So the idea was to go and fish these structure along here, and then after the tide turned was to shoot out wide and see if we could find some big schools of snapper out in the deeper water. So anyway, I'll take the video up, or let the video continue, which is at Thompson's Point, which is right here, and as you can see it's a very fishy looking spot. Welcome to Thompson's Point in Waiheke Island on the northern side. So I've got a 1/4 ounce jig head here. I'm just going to put on one of my old crazy legs and just do a bit of casting out. So this is the crazy legs, and this one is a sapphire shine. And my hands are that cold I can hardly feel what's going on here, but there we go. It's starting to warm up now, the sun's out, so it's actually looking pretty good. So I'll just turn the ski around. I'll just try that again. That was a pretty good fish. It wasn't hooked, unfortunately. So I've had a few casts, I haven't had any inquiries at all, so I just did a direct drop under the ski. There's plenty of sign here. The tide's just turned to start coming in, I think, so they should be starting to move around, and that quite a decent fish just grabbed that, but did not commit. Gannet Rock, just on the north side of it. So we've got Waiheke Island running along here, and I got the Gulp Nemesis Fire Tiger, 6.5 inch. So I'm going to try those on a light jig head and just sort of cast them down. It's very deep around here. I have done quite well here in past years, so give it a try anyway. So after about 100 casts there and a few smaller fish taking the tail, I decided just to head out to middle ground. So when I reached, got out there, you just heard the GoPro stop working. When I got out there was quite a few boats around. There had been some birds there in the morning apparently, but no one had caught anything. And so it looked like it was going to be one of those days until I got onto the lure that was working, and this was the first fish that this particular lure caught. So that's coming up, I'll tell you what it was, of course. But I had tried by this stage, I'd gone on to sort of floating, flutter jigs. I had just a standard sort of knife jigs. I'd had kaburas. I had every colour of Gulp and Z-Man lure that I had on board, and this literally was the last colour. So this isn't a very big fish, I think it's about 44, caught on a soft bait, but this was the first fish of the day, and that was, pretty darn good. So anyway, we'll crack on to what the lure was and get into some more footage. Just before we crack into that, this is mainly for the Australian viewers. Some Australians I know don't know how we measure fish in New Zealand, and I think primarily because most of our fish that we seem to target, the main ones anyway, have V's in their tail. So we measure a fish from the front of its snout to the V in the tail. So if the fish is 40 centimetres, it's measuring from there to there. The same with the kingfish and such as well. Whereas in Australia, I think a lot of the species there do have full tails. Such as this, barramundi here, you can see the tail, it actually sticks out. And a lot of the species I've noticed in Australia do have this, so it'd be great to go and target some of these species at some stage as well. And there's a mangrove jack, once again the same, same sort of thing on the tail there. So this type of fishing actually in Australia, I'm going to do one day. I'm addicted to watching it on YouTube, where they're fishing snags and estuaries, and there's crocodiles beside them, and it's all pretty exciting stuff. But there's some beautiful fish, the cod, estuary cod, the mangrove jacks, the barramundis. Where's the barramundi gone? That one there, I think the one I showed you. But yeah, the barramundis are just beautiful fish. But in New Zealand, we have a lot of snapper, and we measure from there to there. Okay. Change to a blue pepper neon, I think they're called, or that might be the Gulp one. This is a Z-Man anyway, but that's the colour. I think it's called pilchard actually, nuked pilchard or something. But that snapper took that halfway down, actually swam up and grabbed it, so you've got to be watching your line at all times. And of course, just as it happened, I don't know what happened to my GoPro, so I'm not sure if I actually got that on film or not, because the GoPro just wouldn't turn off and wouldn't turn on. But I've changed batteries and we're back again, so we'll see if we can do that again. I'm back on exactly the same spot. I've had no luck on the kaburas at all, not even a take, and the other micro jigs haven't been touched either. So tried the old gulp, the yellow one, and then I did the my favourite one, which is a crazy leg. Okay, we're in again, and this feels like a good. Ooh, this feels like a great fish. So that was. I actually turned the camera off, but I was just dropping down the bottom, but just as I hit the sea floor, this big snapper jumped on it, and it's a good one too. There's a good one. The old nuked pilchard. Now the gulps weren't doing it today. They've got gulp baits that I normally use, crazy legs and all the rest of it. They just weren't, well, they were getting their tails nicked off by little fish, but today is the Z-Man day. So this is why it always pays to keep multiple types on board. So this is the nuked, I think it's called nuked pilchard. I will clarify that and put it on the screen. But this is the second good snapper on it. And we are just about at slack water, which I find very interesting. So what I do is I just keep lifting and dropping, because I believe that the fish see it, and by doing that you're creating competition for the bait. So you drop it to the bottom. If they don't hit it, you bring it right to the top again, and then you drop it again, and so they see it come down again, and then on the third or fourth drop sometimes you get these big boys like this one here will just come up, push the other ones out of the road and just take it. But I will be taking this fish home today. It's just been, the last couple of weeks has been very hard fishing, and I am really missing my fish, because it's just the best food to eat. Particularly these beautiful snapper, they are just beautiful tasting. Now I'll tell you about this rod shortly too. This I salted my rods last week, and then my main rod I use, I smashed in the door. Yeah, this is a beauty. It's a very good sized fish. He's well hooked too. Whoa, it didn't quite want to come on board just yet. But he's well hooked, I can see, so we will grab him just there. And that is beautiful, beautiful snapper. And he is, whoa, he is not ready to be measured. Okay, he is, let's see, he's about 54, so 54 centimeters. Happy with that. Okay, I'm going to dispatch this guy here and put him in the esky of the other one. So I continued on. It was slack water by now, and historically I just don't fish slack water. Just never, sort of have, because it doesn't seem to work. On this particular day, as you can see, I just dropped the old newt pilcher down again and got another fish. This one's actually bigger than the previous one, and yeah, just beautiful fish. And then it sort of stopped after that pretty quickly, but we'll show you a bit of footage from that. Right, there he is. It's a fair lump of a fish. Let's see what he goes. And he was just hooked. So putting not too much pressure on him. He's 55. 55. Lovely big winter, beautiful fat snapper. Lovely big winter, beautiful fat snapper. I think I'm going to head home now. It's the tide will start coming in shortly, but I've got a bit to do, and I've got 3 nice fish there, so I'll just show you inside the old esky there. I mean, it's not a warm day by any means, but there you can see the ice. It hasn't even melted. There we go. So, yeah, over summer might be a different story. It'll probably melt a bit quicker, but there's good insulation in these things. And I've got to say, I'm really loving this thing. I've got all my soft baits stored in there, and easy to access. Zip them up. It's very light to handle. It's easy to clean. I am very impressed by it. As I say, over summer probably need a bit more ice than you would with a big, heavy, thick esky that holds ice for 7 days. But at the end of the day, we're out here for a day or half day. You just want to keep the fish chilled down, and I always fillet my fish the next day. So when I get home, I just transfer the ice into another esky and leave it overnight. Then I fill it in the next day. Then always better if you fill it next day. Much better. In fact, even if you leave them 2 days, even better again. So. Okay, so give you one last look around there. There's Swagga Island again. It's looking out towards Coromandel Peninsula there, and we would have Coromandel Harbour would be over there somewhere, I think, or about there. I think I can just about see it. I was just cruising back, and I've never noticed this before. There's a cave here. It goes in quite deep actually, so I'm just seeing how close I can get to it. It's pretty rocky around here, but there it is. This here looks like a really good spot for doing a bit of wash fishing, just over here, because it goes basically 9 meters the whole way up to the structure, so that would be ideal. Do not want to suck that into my intake. We're now 6 meters. There it is there. I think we can get closer. It's full tide. Still in 6 meters. Yeah, this would be a great spot if you're on a kayak or something, a bit of an explore around. Big cliffs there. And still I can see the bottom now. We're in 4 meters, 3 meters. There's a big back eddy through here, it's sort of pushing me out. But there it is. There's a cave. And lovely area. Look at those cliffs. Years of being smashed by weather. You can see a few bait fish swimming around. Yeah, it'll be good fun to have a wander around here. Quite a flat shelf there for fishing. I wonder if they can actually get over there and fish here from the farm. There's a farm just over the other hill here. Anyway, that'll do us for now. We'll keep going.